To get straight to the point, how to stream on one PC, we'll just jump right into it. So beforehand, you've already got your OBS Studio. I understand a trick to OBS Studio is to right click on your desktop icon and run as administrator, as this apparently gives full rights of the streaming software over all other priorities of the PC. Now, once you've jumped in there, I'm just going to run an example of what my PC is doing. I'm running an Alienware Aurora. I will put the specs in after the video has completed. So we'll jump in. We're playing American Truck Simulator, which is fairly resource intense. And we're running the preview screen on OBS, and as you can see, we're running at about 25 frames per second. Now, I'm also running another PC, another laptop with an external monitor, and you can see that the frame rate is, it's acceptable, but you can tell that it's a bit laggy. We're running it off I think it's a 32-inch or a 42-inch Sony TV. So the trick is here. You're running the preview screen. I'm running two cameras as well, two webcams. Now this is obviously taking up quite a lot of resources. So you disable the preview mode, and the performance of the GPU is going to increase. And I don't know if you can see it from here, but we're running now at a 60 frame per second render. We haven't dropped any frames yet. And the CPU is of course idling on in the background. It doesn't seem to be under too much resource stress. So back to the external laptop. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be tech wizarding this, and it's going to be really basic in terms of presentation. So you can see immediately that the frame rate is a lot smoother. We're still running at 60 frames per second. The CPU's under no resource stress whatsoever, and we haven't dropped any frames yet. Potentially there'll be drop frame rates later, but not currently. And this is running off one PC. Now the thing to note is that, as I understand it, Streamlabs OBS have improved the integration of the NVIDIA graphics cards using the streaming software, and that has enabled the performance of a single graphics card to be substantially more than it used to be. Now, this should enable you to encode with the GPU efficiently enough to run a 60 frame per second render using the NVENC setup within Streamlabs OBS. Now, how I actually set it up was to just jump in to the wizard, which is in Tools, Auto Configuration Wizard, and I got the wizard just to figure out what the best settings were for my PC. So instead of rendering with the CPU X264, I am running the game through the graphics card, and it's also encoding. Now I'll show you what I'm actually running. It's an Alienware Aurora. It's a gaming desktop. It's running a 9th generation i9 9900K 8-core overclock enabled 4.7 GHz. NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2080 Ti 11 GB and a 16 gig RAM, which isn't amazing, but it's doing the job. It should be probably 32 gigs of RAM, but it's doing an okay job at this point. Now, I've tried this on Streamlabs OBS, and I haven't managed to get a 60 frame stream come out of Streamlabs OBS, so I'm not sure what the difference is with the software. I'm not too much of a software guru, but it obviously isn't integrating as well as just the basic OBS Studio. So if you've got just a basic setup, I would suggest using OBS Studio over Streamlabs OBS. Now, I did want to mention that I'm not sure what kind of specs you need in terms of your graphics card to run OBS as a single PC stream. I would imagine that you would need a fairly high-end graphics card. It may pay to actually test this out for yourself, and if it works, well, good for you. If it does not, then it may be that you need to invest in a higher spec graphics card, or in fact have a look at the other alternatives for streaming. You may need an alternative setup, which I might just show you. Now I've sketched together on a piece of paper. As I've said before, this isn't going to be a very tech presentation, but it will do the job. You've either got the first alternative of a 2 PC setup. So your gaming PC is going to be running the game. It's going to send the information through a capture card to a streaming PC, which is going to encode that information and send that to your streaming preference, whether it be Twitch, Mixer, or YouTube. I've also heard of a second alternative where you run 2 separate graphics cards. So you have a powerful graphics card which will be running your game. It'll send the information only to encode from the second graphics card. So the second graphics card can be of a lower spec. So we can be looking at 2016 cards, perhaps down to 2012, maybe even lower. So the job of the second graphics card is only to encode the information and then send that to Twitch, Mixer, or YouTube. Now, if you've got any comments, please put them down below the video. The usual like, subscribe, and so on would be appreciated as well. There are a few things going on this channel, but I thought I might chime in on this one because I have spent quite some time trying to work out how to stream with just one PC and have finally managed to work it out, and there does not seem to be too much information out there to help the beginner streamer, especially if they haven't got any experience or any other avenues of finding this out, and especially if they're only running one rig. So thank you for watching the video, and we'll be back again, perhaps with something similar when I find answers to other tech related questions.